You can never ever be prepared for all the eventual things that happen after you publish a book. I didn't expect that. I think the media has been responsible for that, really, because the book, unlike what the media portrays, is about my life, is about how I overcame adversities to rise to the level at which I am. I am not the president, I'm not the prime minister, I'm not even a minister, I'm not any public official, but I think I've raised the bar by the publication itself, by becoming a lawyer, practiced law in Canada, by becoming the prime minister's advisor, even though I grew up and was born dirt poor. That is important. Children who are born in the slums, who are born in villages, who are struggling with all kinds of deprivations, can see inspiration in my life. And I would like to encourage them not to see adversity as a death knell, so that they think they wouldn't be able to overcome all of this to become whatever they want to become. So that's number one. Number two, I wanted to be able to trace my steps and the struggles for justice I've been involved in. Because some people were claiming that Raila Odinga made me. I was already Miguna before Raila Odinga met me. He met me because I'd already made a name for myself. Otherwise, he would never have met me. I'm not related to him. I'm not a goon, and I was not even living in Kenya. He met me through my work. He was reading my articles, and he liked them. And he thought I could make a significant contribution to his campaign. So really, he sought my services. When I was giving the services, at the time he was running for president, it served him well. But it did not serve him well after he became prime minister, because his interest changed. Now his focus was making money and acquiring as much power as possible. That was never my interest. My interest was for the transformation of society. And he lost focus. He moved from that to a personal agenda, a selfish, cynical, personal agenda for self-aggrandizement. And that is the agenda where we depart. Now, the cleavages, the ethnic, class, and other cleavages that the book has now exposed needed to be exposed. I talk of corruption not just on ODM side, but it is only on the ODM side that I had detailed information. I talk of corruption everywhere in society, on the PNU side and on the ODM side. There is no government institution, major government institution, that is not touched in this book. I talk about the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission and how useless it was and continues to be. I talked about the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I talk about the useless Attorney General, a former one, Amos Wako. I talk about the ineffectiveness and the corruption within the police force. I talk about the weaknesses in our institutions, including the judiciary. I mean, so for someone to say with a straight face that Miguna only talks about Raila is not just reckless. It is totally irresponsible. Yes.
So you mentioned a few other institutions, and your book also has personalities. Before you left for Canada after the launch of the book, individuals like Karoli had indicated that they were going to sue you.
Where are the lawsuits? Where are the lawsuits? I've been here now for 2 weeks. Even if I was not here, they could still have served me. They have not served me even with a notice, a libel notice, a letter, which is what you have to do before you can actually sue. And the media, that's why I say the media is really a culprit here. Why do they announce Miguna has been sued and they have not seen a lawsuit? Just because somebody says, I am aggrieved, does not mean they are suing. Even if somebody says, I'm hiring a lawyer. I'm a lawyer, so hiring a lawyer is not a big deal for me. Go hire your lawyers. Hire 1,000 if you want. I'll defend myself. I don't need to hire a lawyer. If somebody thinks that is arrogant, so be it. You know, I'm not into this business of pleasing people. I'm not a con man. I'm not here to depict a character which I am not. I don't want to be loved for no reason. I'm not going out there and kneeling before people, love me, love me. Raila Odinga can play that silly game. I'm not here to cheat people into believing things that are not true. You meet the Miguna, that is Miguna. So you either love me the way I am, or hate me. I don't really care. Yeah.
Do you think you left at the right time and published this book at the right time? A few other people think that you kept silent for so long.
My friend, what they are saying is silly. Let me tell you why it is silly. When is the right time to publish a book? Is it January? Is it March? Is it December? When is it? So I published my book when I published it. You publish a book when you and the publishers and the editors are ready to publish it. Nobody is going to give me a timeline of publishing a book, nor will I dictate to anybody when they should publish a book. Why should I have published the book after elections when I want to talk about my life and want to talk about issues, including leaders running for election? Is it not more useful to let voters know about these leaders that I know so that they can make informed decisions on who to vote for and not to vote for? It would be the highest level of hypocrisy if I waited until Kenyans, God forbid, elected Raila Odinga. Then I come along and say, by the way, I knew this and that about him, but I kept quiet until you made the mistake. Or I wait until he starts breaking our bones after he becomes president to say, I noticed those dictatorial traits, but I kept quiet. 2, what do you mean I kept quiet for too long? How long did I work for Raila Odinga? I was hired on March 6th, 2009. I left in 2011. That is less than 3 years. Is that too long? Some of these people complaining have worked for the government for 30 years and they have never blown a whistle. And they have grown to be billionaires out of a salary of less than 100,000 a month. They're definitely corrupt. So you would rather a corrupt man who keeps quiet than one who joined, so revealed to you, and did not partake in anything. Because if I did partake in anything, by this time, my friend, I would not just have been sued for defamation. They would have charged me in a court of law, criminally, and I would be rotting in committee. How come I'm free? Because they know I stole nothing. I saw what they were doing, took my notes, I've published a book. Let them deal with that. What I would want them to do is come out in the open. Raila coming out in the open and denying that he was not involved in the May scandal. I would like him to say so that I can produce more evidence, so that Kenyans, we can now tango, really tango, issue by issue. Let him come and deny openly that he was not involved in KKV. Because to tell me you hired or you instructed the efficiency monitoring unit, which is under your office, it's like me telling my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, to investigate me. What do you expect? She calls me daddy. Of course, daddy is everything. So she will come up with a report daddy wants. In fact, she will come and say, daddy, can you write this for me so that I can release it? Because they love their dad. The same reason why the efficiency monitoring unit will take the report to Raila and say, sir, is there a comma you don't like? Is there a full stop that I should remove? And that is what has been happening. Whether it has been corruption in the Ministry of Water or Medical Services or Immigration or the Prime Minister's office, the reports from the efficiency monitoring unit have been insulting to Kenyans. That whole unit should be disbanded. It is useless. The Inspectorate of State Corporations, again, Karoli supervises it. Isaaka supervises it, leave alone Raila. So what do you expect out of that? And you know, Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission has been disbanded, essentially. It's completely ineffective. And you know, Tobacco has not taken anybody to court, from Goldenberg to KKV. So what do you expect? Should that prevent Miguna from writing his book or speaking about these ills? This is a civic duty I have done. And it is not an easy thing to sit down and write a book of 614 pages in 6 months. And people tell you there is something else you need to do. Why can't they also do other things? If we were all doing the kind of work I have done, Kenya would have moved quite ahead. But to sit there for most of these guys and laugh at me or jeer at me or try to intimidate me or threaten me or discourage me, that is the cynicism that will keep us backwards.
What next for you after the promotion of the book?
I continue doing my job the best way I know. I've been a writer all my life. I've been an activist all my life. I've been a lawyer now for more than close to 20 years. I will continue doing. I'm a writer. I continue writing. I will continue agitating and fighting for justice. From here, I'm going to Thika. From Thika, I'm going to Embu. From Embu, I'm going to Meru. From Meru, I'm going to Machakos. From there, I'm touring the entire country. And as we do that, we are building networks, we are building structures, we are collaborating with the other people. By the time we are finished, all these vestiges of the old order would have been retired before you say Tom Harry.
Did you say that from on the road you already have material for another book?
More than enough material for another book. The roadshow alone is a book. The attacks could be a book. Plus, of course, books that I was planning, plus the surplus of the book that was published. So, I mean, I just need time. Let me finish my show first, and then I will collect my thoughts, re-energize my energy, maybe repair some of the bruises that Raila's goons have subjected me to, and then you will have another book.
Do you have and maybe political ambitions?
I always have political ambitions, of course. And they will soon become very clear. I am not one who shies away from that. I've always been a political actor, and I will remain a political actor. I will run for public office at some point. If it is going to be in this election, I will announce it. If it is going to be in the next election, I will announce it, but on my own timing, at my own time. Yes.
Do you foresee a situation where you will work with Prime Minister Raila?
Never again. Never. Mine and him is finished. He's too old and retrogressive for me. I think he needs to retire. He has made his contribution, positive or not positive on balance. It is for history to judge him, but I think now is his right time to retire. He has become irrelevant. He has become a negative force in our politics, and I don't think we need such distractions.
For Miguna, when you venture into politics, what do you think as Miguna you bring to the political fold?
I will bring candidness that I think is lacking, missing in our political environment. I will bring a level of honesty of discussing and debating issues that has not been there. I think I come from an orientation, a political orientation of engagement, which is quite different. I don't go and plead with my audience or whatever. I engage them actively. I don't do that to manipulate them to support me. I do that so that by the time they support me, they know who this man is made of. They can touch my core and my soul, and they can say, this is real, not corny, which is what these politicians are. They go there as comedians and they dance on the stage and they say kitandawili and they do all manner of things and they bribe in order for people to love them. I don't have money, I'm not giving any money. So you either like me the way I am or you don't like me. I'm bringing that to the table. I'm bringing a commitment and focus that is lacking. These guys are not consistent. For example, Raila Odinga, one day he's against Mungiki, the following day he's in bed with them so that because he's looking for votes. One day he's condemning the MRC in Mombasa, the following day is calling for dialogue because he needs votes. One day is for the ICC, the following day is against the ICC. One day for this, I mean, so where does he stand? Such a man is dangerous because he can say anything to get to power. Once he gets to power, he starts doing exactly the opposite of what you put him there for. Look at Moi. People thought Moi was humble, Moi was modest, Moi had no excesses. He was just an ignorant buffoon. What did he become? A big ogre, and terrorized us for 24 years. We don't want that. We don't want wolves in sheepskin. And Raila is such a wolf. He's actually worse than a wolf. So I'm saying that is the politics that I would not be subscribing to. I bring an orientation of efficiency. I work hard. I do work hard. I keep deadlines. I go to work on time and leave at the time I'm supposed to leave. And I am not corrupt. So the unemployment rate in this country at 70–75% of the youth is intolerable. It is a recipe for chaos. These young men can burn down this country in a second once they feel that there is no other way. I would want to work with people like myself to create opportunities for employing the youth so that we can at least keep unemployment at a rate which is tolerable. You know, if you go to America, by the time it reaches 10%, when it reaches 15%, the country is burning down. Canada is been between 4 and 8%. Many countries, that is what is sustainable. The moment you go to 30, my friend, that is a crisis. Look at corruption. You can sustain a corruption level of 10% of the GDP. In Kenya, it is over 60%. They're stealing everything. So how does a country develop? These are the questions I'm asking. And I'm not a hypocrite. So at this level, I'm almost 50. If I've not been all these things, I certainly will not become them just tomorrow. Because, and by the way, I had some power. I was the Prime Minister's advisor. And so I had some influence. I could have decided to remain there, make money, and keep quiet. I didn't, even when he begged me to go back.
So do you think your book, Peeling Back the Mask, is serving its rightful purpose in the sense that you are helping voters to make an informed choice of their leader, when already we are seeing that it's being, perceptions of it are being drawn on tribal lines? Many people who are talking about the book have not even read about the book, yet they can drive perceptions of the book.
You see, this book was released less than 2 months ago. Or is it 2 months now? It's less than 2 months ago. And everybody's talking about it. In fact, I don't think there is any other book that has been written about Kenya or not about Kenya that has been spoken of than this one in this country. That's a good thing. And they know, even if they have not read it, that there is corruption allegations, that there are corruption allegations, that there are allegations of abuse of office, that there are allegations of nepotism and tribalism. Now, these are issues that are affecting the country. So to that extent, it has more than served its purpose. It has raised the profile of discussion to be about a book, and a book is a good thing. The reading culture. People who were not reading books 2 months ago are reading. Because you know, when I say more than 10,000 copies have been sold, those are Kenyans. 10,000, my friend. Even if they're non-Kenyans, some are Kenyans. Thousands of them. And you know, when one person reads a book, maybe 10 will get to know what that book is about, because a man, for example, has a spouse, has children, has relatives, has colleagues, has playmates. So in a way, it becomes viral. And this book was pirated by some criminal gang belonging to ODM, thinking that they were going to deny me revenue. Over 1,050,000 people downloaded, just the people we could track. If this 1,050,000 reads it, then millions will know about the book. So in fact, it has worked against them. They would rather have demonized me, cast aspersions on me, and try to limit the distribution of the book. But now, I mean, you are having millions of people reading this book. And by the time they finish, Raila Odinga's political obituary would have been written, and grass would have grown on his political grave. And if that happens, I would be a happy man. Now, when that happens, it is not just against Raila Odinga, the person. It's again everything Raila Odinga represents, which is intolerance, dictatorship, the culture of impunity, corruption, nepotism, tribalism, abuse of public office. If I'm able to deal with all that in one book, my friend, I'm a happy man.